This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. A controversial proposal from the U.S. ambassador to Turkey has sparked backlash in Armenia. Speaking at a press event in New York on Friday, Ambassador Thomas Barak suggested that the United States could take control of a 32-kilometer stretch of road in Armenia's Syunik region, a land link between mainland Azerbaijan and its Nakhichevan exclave, under a 100-year lease. Barak framed the idea as a way to help resolve long-standing tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan. But his remarks struck a nerve in Yerevan, especially when he referred to tribal points of view as a barrier to peace. He said, "What if America says, give us the road on a 100-year lease, and you can all share it?" A comment that many in Armenia saw as dismissive and offensive. Though he avoided the term Zangezur corridor, often used by Baku and rejected by Armenia, this was the first time a U.S. official publicly floated the idea of leasing the route to Washington. The Armenian government quickly shot down the suggestion. A spokesperson for Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said Armenia has never considered and will not consider handing control of its territory to a third party, calling such a move legally and politically impossible under Armenian law. Turkey, which was named in a press report as having first suggested the plan, also denied any knowledge of it. In a follow-up to Barak's remarks, President Donald Trump said yesterday during a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte at the White House, "It looks like that's going to come to a conclusion, a successful conclusion," referring to the Armenia-Azerbaijan normalization process. Pashinyan continued his European tour yesterday, traveling from Brussels to Paris for a working visit. At the Élysée Palace, he met with French President Emmanuel Macron for a private discussion focused on deepening the strategic partnership between Armenia and France. Macron welcomed Pashinyan warmly, both in person and in a public post on social media, praising the Prime Minister's courageous efforts to establish peace with Azerbaijan. Macron said a potential peace deal could open a new chapter for the entire region and pledged continued French support. Pashinyan extended congratulations to Macron on France's Bastille Day national holiday and emphasized Armenia's commitment to closer ties with France and the European Union. The Paris stop followed high-level meetings in Brussels, where Pashinyan sat down with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa. The EU leaders praised what they called Armenia's democratic progress and reaffirmed their support for the country's sovereignty, economic development, and regional peace efforts, including the ambitious Crossroads of Peace initiative. Domestic tourism in Armenia hit a new record in 2024, with 2.8 million trips made across the country, up from about 2.3 million last year and surpassing pre-pandemic levels, according to the Statistical Committee. Popular spots like Lake Sevan, Dilijan, and Zakhgadzor continue to draw visitors. But despite the growth, affordability remains a major barrier, with 81% of Armenians saying they can't afford even a one-week vacation away from home. Tourism experts note that local prices are often on par with travel abroad, but warn that rising costs and uneven service quality could hurt future growth. New domestic destinations have emerged since the pandemic, expanding travel options, but more investment in infrastructure and collaboration between businesses, local governments, and communities is needed. Authorities say they're working to improve pricing and service standards through new campaigns and public-private partnerships. CivilNet sat down with Razmik Hovagimyan, co-founder of Firebird AI, and Alexander Yasayan, co-founder of the Team Group of companies, two of the key visionaries behind Firebird, Armenia's most ambitious tech project to date. They explained the plan, scope, and future of this unprecedented AI supercomputing hub. Backed by NVIDIA and the Armenian government, Firebird is a thinking center built to power cutting-edge research, next-gen startups, and breakthrough innovation across industries. Watch the full interview at the link in this video's description. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 1,700,000. That's the amount in dollars that Japan is granting Armenia to modernize Yerevan's air quality monitoring system, according to Armenia's Environment Ministry. The project will upgrade 3 monitoring stations with advanced Japanese technology to enable real-time tracking of pollutants like carbon monoxide, addressing long-standing gaps in the country's outdated system. Air quality in Yerevan has gotten increasingly worse in recent years, with most days this past winter rated as being in severe condition. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.